First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory, honor, and is due to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash, double honors to the elders, the apostles of Great Millstone, blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect, those in the gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. I have some very important information from this site here. It's called, it was sent to me through the group meet. It is from buildbackbetter.com. It says the Biden-Harris transition. These are the provisions and their insight or their agenda for the next presidential, well, I won't say election, the next presidential cabinet, so to speak, like the next administration, Salakia. It rolls out the C-19, the Biden-Harris plan to beat C-19, which, if you look at this is just straight anarchy, man. If you read this and study the terms and break each and every one down, this is basically a full-fledged shutdown. This is a whole reboot, okay? And I'm going to try to be as PC as possible because, I know E is watching. He's waiting on a particular word to be said so his algorithm can be justified on shutting us down. But we're not going to give you that type of energy today, bro. Sorry. All right. But we will bring out the scriptures and the truth. And like I said, I will try to remain as transparent as possible. So anyway, it says the American people deserve urgent, robust, and professional response to the growing public health and economic crisis caused by the C virus outbreak. It says President-elect Biden believes the federal government must act swiftly and aggressively. All right, we know what aggressive means. All right, we don't have to look that up. If you want to know what the word aggressive means, just do a quick Google search. But you should know what it means. But it says here, aggressively to help protect, support our families, small business, first responders, caregivers, essential to help us face this challenge. Those who are most vulnerable to health and economic impacts in our broader communities, not to blame others or bail out corporations. All right, so if you listen to this or you look at this, it sounds as basically a Judas goat. It's basically a wolf in sheep's clothing. All right, that's all it's talking about, because those of us that's in to know that this means this is not good. But for the average person out there that's not really, that haven't taken the red pill, that's kind of la la land, docility of mind. People look at this, I'm like, oh yeah, this is what we need. Like Biden said, he said, well, look, man, if we just do this for a couple more months, we will be okay. But a couple of months leads to more months and to years down the line. Like what they say back in March, it's 2 weeks, then we're going to open up. Another 2 weeks went by, went 3 months or so. March, April, May, June, 3 months before they even got things somewhat upright. So we know that's not the case. But it says the Biden-Harris administration will always listen to science, which ESO science falsely so called, ensure public health decisions are informed by public health professionals, promote trust, transparency, common purpose, and accountability in our government. Like, really? Who trusts the government? Matter of fact, who trusts you Edomites? Okay, that's not, we know. That's the worst thing you will do, is put your trust in a bunch of people that's not set up for your potential benefit, okay? These people are totally set in array against you Israelites, and you're going to find that out. Because these guidelines, these bullet points, these are key strategic moves that these devils want to do in order to bring about all hell on earth coming to you Jakes, all right? You so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native American. They're basically going to bring hell to your front door, okay? It says here, President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Harris have a 7-point plan to beat C-19. It says ensure all Americans have access to regular, reliable, and free testing. No. Double the number of drive-through testing sites. Invest in next-generation testing, including at-home tests and instant tests, so we can scale up our testing capacity by orders of magnitude. Stand up a pandemic testing board like Roosevelt's War Production Board. It's how we produce tanks, planes, uniforms, supplies in record time, and that's how we will produce and distribute tens of millions of tests. I'm gonna tell you like this, man. These tests, a lot of them may contain this because if you go back into earlier this summer, people that were taking those tests were getting sick. They said a lot of them was contaminated or affected with this particular virus, and people were getting sick from it. Okay, so that may be something you want to rethink before you really throw your trust in these people. That's all I'm gonna say. But it says here, it says establish a U.S. public health job corps to mobilize at least 100,000 Americans across the country with support from trusted local organizations and communities most at risk to perform culturally competent approaches to contract tracing and protecting at-risk populations. Protecting at-risk populations, use blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Yeah, that's a more transparent way of saying it without saying it. It says fix personal protective equipment, which is PPE, problems for good. President-elect Joe Biden is taking the responsibility and giving states, cities, tribes, and territories and the critically supplies they need. Fully use of the Defense Production Act to ramp up production of masks, face shields, and other PPE so that the national supply of personal protective equipment exceeds demand in our stores and stockpiles, especially in hard-hit areas that serve disproportionately vulnerable populations, are fully replenished. Build immediately towards a future, flexible American source and manufacturing capability to ensure we are not dependent on other countries in a crisis. Provide clear, constant, evidence-based guidelines for how communities should navigate the pandemic and the resources for schools, small business, families to make it through. Social distancing is not a light switch, it is a dial. President-elect Biden would direct the CDC to provide specific evidence-based guidance for how to turn the dial up or down relative to the level of risk and degree of viral spread in the community, including when to open and close certain businesses, bars, restaurants, and spaces. I'll tell you like now, this go for it, ain't nothing gonna be open. I mean, to the point you gonna have to wear a mask in your damn house. You have to wear a mask in the shower. Alright, because hey, they're setting up what they call contact tracing. To the point is somehow they can detect if you ain't got that mask on, they gonna come knocking on your door, man. I mean, that's how serious it can really get. To the point you gotta make love to your wife with a mask on. Like, this fuck is this demolition, man. You know, but hey, this is the people you people voted for. You put these people in office and you got exactly what you asked for, man. Alright, so honestly, I'm hoping that this man takes office January 20th or 21st. I'm hoping that he do, because this is exciting news. This is exciting because it gets the ball rolling, it gets the prophecies rolling, it gets us closer to getting into anarchy and Yahweh Shai coming back to deliver us. You know, because honestly, brothers, we were out, man. You know, we were out. Like, luckily I had the day off today, but case in point, still ain't got the day off. Still got to run errands, go to stores, still got to study, do your shows. You still got life still goes on. So there's no real rest here. You know, like the scriptures say, rise and depart. This is not our rest. Okay, this is slavery. So, hey, we are working. We can't just lay in the bed all day and get disease like I would like. You know, and on top of that, your body is not even acclimated to that type of conditioning. Your body is designed to wake up at a certain time. Like I woke up at 7 o'clock this morning. Ain't no way in hell I should be up this early. I should still be asleep. But, you know, that's our minds, our bodies are messed up. But anyway, it says here, or when to close or open schools and what steps they need to make to classroom and facilities safe, appropriate restrictions on size of gatherings, when to issue stay-at-home restrictions. So I'm telling you, they're playing off an invisible thing. They're playing off something. You know what? How does the devil get away with this? He plays on shit you can't prove. Like, to the point he comes up with a narrative or scenario, but then he comes up with something that you can't produce the proof that it's true. So basically, he's just telling you to blindly believe what he's saying. That's just like saying it's a pot of gold on the other side of the rainbow, but yet there's no evidence of it, but yet you're supposed to believe him. See, that's how they get away with it, with these numbers increasing, because you can't prove it. You know, he never produced the proof, and he gets away with it. Okay, if all these people are dying for it, prove it. Why aren't funerals every single day? Why aren't the morgues filled? Morgues are losing business, you know, even though people die every day. They're not making a much more profit than they did 2 years ago. What are you talking about, man? While all these hospitals, they're not full of people, you know, going to get checkups and stuff. Hey, it's not crowded in there. It's just like any typical day. So where's all these numbers coming from? You know, you can't produce the facts. You know, you're just supposed to believe you and your news media. But anyway, it says enable a renewable fund for state and local governments to help prevent budget shortfalls, which may cause states to face steep cuts in teachers to first responders. Call on Congress to pass emergency package to ensure schools have the traditional or additional resources they need to adapt effectively to C. Provide a restart package that helps small business cover the cost of operating safely, including things like plexiglass and PPE. So this man wants to completely shut you down, man. All right? He wants to shut you down because it says plan for effective, equitable distribution of treatments and vaccines. It says because development isn't enough if they aren't effectively distributed. And this is going to go for the whole world. China, Japan, the UK, they already on their second lockdown. What is it? Australia, Paris, people were leaving Paris in mass numbers because of the lockdowns. I mean, it was crazy. It was like an exodus out there. People were leaving and coming into the city because they're like, we're not finna deal with this. We ain't finna go on lockdown based on some shit you can't prove. All right. So it says they want to invest $25 billion in a vaccine manufacturing and distribution plan that will guarantee it gets to every American cost free, which ain't nothing in this world free. And these are the bullet lines that that they want to roll out these particular things, but it's no guarantee that this is all going to happen in one day. Okay, he's going to put this into play the first day he gets in office, but overall, this is going to take place over a course of time. He can't do all this in one day. You know what I'm saying? It takes some time to do this. It takes months, sometimes years. But nonetheless, this is a step in the right direction for the prophecies to be fulfilled. I'm just ready for it to be over with, But anyway, it says here, establish a C-19 racial and ethics disparity task force. Task force, military, policing, as proposed by Vice President-elect Harris. See? A. Racial ethnic disparities by Vice President-elect Harris. What are that talking about? That's talking about deploying troops or deploying some type of security to police you Israelites, because you got to understand that Kamala Harris do not like people of color. Okay, she's not an Israelite. All right, intel came out. She's not an Israelite. She's a heathen. Just because our father's from Jamaica, that don't mean a goddamn thing. All right, so hey, let's not get simple. But either way it go, if she was an Israelite or not, it doesn't matter. But from what I'm seeing, she's not. But it doesn't matter. She appears to be a woman of color, so that's all that matters. But it says proposed by Vice President-elect to provide recommendations and oversights on disparities in the public health and economic response. It says at the end of the health crisis, it will transition to a permanent infectious disease, racial disparities task force. All right, and another thing too. I was looking at the article yesterday too. It was like a news clip of basically Biden's task force is going to consist of head of a black woman. Okay, so that should tell you something too. Even a serpent all over again. It's full swing. But it says rebuild and expand defense to predict, prevent, and to mitigate pandemic threats, including those coming from China. Immediately restore the White House National Security Council Directorate from Global Health Security and Biodefense, originally established by the Obama-Biden administration. That word Obama, he's back in there. Immediately restore our relationship with the World Health Organization, which, while not perfect, is essential to coordinate a global response during the pandemic, and relaunch and strengthen the U.S. Agency for International Development Pathogen Tracking Program called PREDICT. There you go, man. It says here, implement mask mandates nationwide by working with governors. This is where it gets draconian, and mayors by asking the American people to do what they best. But it says to do what they do best. Step up in a time of crisis. But this is taking away people's freedoms. It's not constitutional to wear a mask. You don't have to. But it says experts agree that tens of thousands of lives can be saved if Americans wear masks. President-elect Biden will continue to call on every American to wear a mask when they are around people outside their household. Every governor to make that mandatory in their state, local authorities, which is the cops, also to make it mandatory to buttress their state orders. Once we succeed in getting beyond this pandemic, we must ensure that the millions of Americans who suffer long-time side effects from the C don't face higher premiums or deny health benefits insurance because of this new pre-existing condition. It says the Biden-Harris administration will work to ensure the protections for those with pre-existing conditions that were won with Obamacare are protected, which they're deeming that constitutional too. The Affordable Care Act, right? It says, and they will work to lower health care costs and expand access to qualified affordable health care through Medicare. like public option. So this is basically sleepwalking you back into slavery, man. All right, this is nothing good that's gonna come from this. So anyway, let's get a couple of precepts, because you people are in for it, man. This man is getting ready to bring holy hell to this place, and hey, good, can't wait. But anyway, this is the book Isaiah 10:1. It says, "Woe to them that decree unrighteous decree, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed." Okay, that's an unrighteous decree right there. Those laws, those particular parameters, task force, police, Operation Warp Speed, Maxine's, that's an unrighteous decree. That's going to cause people to go into some type of panic state of mind. They're going to get on edge about that, because I'm telling you right now, these what you call these patriots, they're not going for this shit. They're already pissed off because Biden stole the election, basically. So this is screaming civil war. This is basically the pot getting ready to boil over. Okay, it says, turn aside the needy from judgment, and take a right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, that they may rob the fatherless. Right, kids ain't got fathers, man, in the homes. So therefore, they're taking away the rights of them being Israelites and to living a free and healthy life by putting draconian laws on them. Okay, and it says here, "And what will you do in the day of visitation, and in the desolation where you should come from? To whom will you flee for help, and where will you leave your glory?" Okay, so man, hey, how about you, man? He's getting ready to open up the gates of hell on this place. It's getting bad out here. People walking around, they're thinking that everything is hunky-dory. They're thinking things are going to go back to normal, when in fact, it's far from normal. I'll put it to you that way. Because a lot of you are going to get caught off guard, and a lot of you are going to get suckered in by these passive-aggressive terms that they're using. But anyway, this is the book of Job 15, and I'm going to start at verses 34. It says, "For the congregation of the hypocrites should be desolate, and fire should consume the tabernacles of the bribery. And they conceive mischief, and bring forth vanity in their belly, prepared deceit." This is all this is. Okay, matter of fact, Lord's will, I'll post a link on the page so you brothers can do your follow-up videos to it. But this is basically a table that's prepared through deceit, man. Because look at this. It says, "The Biden Harris plan to beat the sea." I don't see that happening. All right, I'm seeing that it's going to get more worse, and they're going to use these different numbers in order to put people in slavery again. All right, so it says here, "Get ready, Biden C-19 advises pictures, national lockdown, warns U.S. would be hitting 200,000 cases a day." How would you know that? Okay, so hey, they're coming into a second shutdown. So it says, epidemiologist Dr. Michael Osterholm, who has joined Joe Biden's C-19 advisory board, has warned Americans to get ready as they expect cases to continue to surge, and wants a national lockdown to combat this pandemic. There you go. It says, Biden advisor said the darkest months are ahead when it comes to 19 due to the winter driving people indoors, and fatigue and disaffection affecting their willingness to adhere to health guidelines. Cole, we told you that in the wintertime they was going to pull this shit. We said in the wintertime they was going to start upping the cases. They're going to use this to justify of locking people down. And because Esau so much of a devil, Yahweh Shai warns you. Matter of fact, let's get the scripture real quick. Yahweh Shai warned you. He said, pray that your flight be not in winter, man. Because that's a terrible time to go through this. When it's cold outside, man, and you all of a sudden you outside and they throwing your ass butt ass naked inside of a black female bus, taking you to the nearest prison. It's freezing in there, you in a cell freezing. They sticking you with stuff. This is the worst time in order to go through something this horrific. But hey, the scriptures tell you that hey, these days are gonna be like any other days. This is gonna be the worst time of human suffering. The times we're living in now, this is gonna be worse than any other time on the planet Earth. So why not the winter? And yeah, I'm all for it. Hey, this is the Lord's plan, man. He's got to make it that much. He got to make it that much grave. It gets interesting. You think they're gonna do this shit in the summertime so you people can fight back? No, they're gonna try to neutralize as many of you people as they can during these cold months to docile you down and pretty much lock you away. And by the time the summer comes, they can already have their revisions to go into next winter. So by next winter, hey, it could be a whole different world. All right. So this is the book of Matthew 24. And I'm going to start at verses 19. It says, woe to them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. So this ain't the time to be having babies, man. You know, you brothers out there, hey, I say put her on her, not in her, if you know what I mean. It says, and pray that your flight be not in winter, neither on a Sabbath day. All right, that's the key. Your flight in winter, because in the ancient world, man, hey, them winters in the land of Israel and Jerusalem, hey, at times they can get as harsh as they could out here. I won't say as bad as they do in America, but nonetheless, man, you really want to travel in the wintertime. You want to be inside your home. You want to be warm. You want to be cozied up. You don't want to be out there just for the hell of it. You know, like a lot of us got jobs that cause us to work in the wintertime. That's hell. Like, one thing I like about construction work is because, you know, they get laid off for the wintertime and they got the money to hold them over to the first of spring, you know, because me personally, I don't mind not working in the winter. Honestly, I hate the cold, you know, and I'm from Chicago and it's cold as hell up there, but it's just something that you just don't get used to. It's very uncomfortable, you know, and I don't like it when it's too hot either. I like it just right, you know, but hey, nonetheless, that's just the things we gotta, you know, we gotta endure. Like going out to the streets in the wintertime, yeah, it's a challenge. But hey, we do it because the Spirit is on us to do it. And guess what? It's gonna get cold outside. And guess what? We're gonna be out there teaching the word. Even if it's just for 2 hours. The point about it is we're out there. You know, and hey, all the brothers across the world, across the country, we go out there in the cold. So you brothers down south, man, you got it good. You know, you brothers on the West Coast, you got it good. You know, because shit, y'all don't get the shit we get up here, man. It gets cold as hell in Illinois and Missouri and, you know, New York. Oh, man, it's to the point everybody in New York State have to plow snow, from the trash truck drivers to the local grocery store. Everybody got to plow snow out there, you know, because New York can get up to 10 foot of snow. You know, same thing in Chicago. You know, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But it says here, but pray ye that your flight be not in winter, neither on a Sabbath day, because the Sabbath is a day of rest, of course. It says, for then should be great tribulation, such it was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no ever shall be. So this is the time of suffering beyond measures. You people are getting ready to suffer greatly. And I can't say it no other way. And I'm not even trying to be with theatrics and stuff, but you people getting ready to suffer. It says here, but the abiding advisor said that the darkest months are ahead when it comes to the C-19 due to the winter driving people indoors and fatigue and disaffection affecting their willingness to adhere to health guidelines. It says these factors, Osterholm claims, will likely drive daily case figures to a new high. But get ready, we're going to be hitting 200,000 cases or more a day. How the hell is that even possible? I mean, y'all already had 1 million some cases. How many people you think in this country? You gonna say what, you gonna hit 400 million cases a day? It ain't even that many people in America. It's stupid, man. It don't even make any sense. But hey, like Esau tells it, you people will believe in this, because if they're not the ones that's jacking people up with this, how the hell can they say, oh, we're gonna get 200,000 cases a day? That's a lie. You can't even test that many people. Your test is taking days, sometimes even weeks to come back. And they're not even accurate. How are you testing as many people? And why is this the first time that you guys, well, not, I won't even say mandating masks, but what about the flu? What about tuberculosis? What about pneumonia? What about neurosyphilis? You know, even though that deals with brain, with your mind. But what about the flu? This is along the same lines. Why haven't you locked the cities down for the common flu, and people die from that every year from underlying causes? Why for this, when it's proved the flu to be more deadlier? Why is this the first time? Why have not any other particular pandemic like the flu or HIV and cancer? Why haven't you locked down the cities for that stuff? But this, that's why you Edomites gotta go, man. You devils are gonna pay, man. You are gonna pay. All right, when we get you in the kingdom, we gonna have a pleasure on putting our foot up your ass, man. It's gonna be a pleasure to look forward just to torture you every fucking day. And you ain't gonna get no rest on a Sabbath day. You know why? Because we're gonna plague you with nightmares of getting fucked up. Sitting up here making this crap up. But go ahead, you know, it's the Lord's it's the Lord's business anyway. It's just stupid on how you dumb idiots eat this shit up, man. It says, and we have to get prepared in our hospitals, he told MSNBC's Morning Joe program on Monday. It says the U.S. has exceeded daily records multiple times over the past few days, including on Saturday, which recorded 128,000 new cases. Osterholm is the opinion that the national lockdown is required to drive this infection level to a place where we can actually control it. You tried that already, it didn't work. However, he admitted compliance is key. If you interview 50 people, you get 75 definition of what a lockdown is, he said. He said, citing the success of contact tracing in China and elsewhere, Osterholm claimed the U.S. has fallen short in its battle against the pandemic. But if the government were to impose a national lockdown, the country should help fight the pain and suffering economically. It says that comes from people being unable to work and businesses being forced to shut down. Right, if you shut this place down, everything gonna shut down. These businesses can't undergo another shutdown. They ain't got enough money to sustain themselves. They're gonna go. A lot of businesses are gonna go. You seen what happened during the first shutdown. These businesses, they were gone overnight. And it says, and that comes from people being unable to work and businesses being forced to shut down by allowing the borrowing of money from ourselves to pay people to lose their jobs, he said. That would be a very different kind of lockdown where people wouldn't suffer. So basically going to pay people for staying at home. But he says the U.S. currently has more than 10.1 million cases and has so far recorded over 238,000 deaths from the virus. You're the fuck right. That still ain't a lot of people, man. Even if that was the truth. But you know what? You do what you got to do, bro. All right? It says here, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. All right? So, hey, brothers. It's the times we coming in, too. Getting ready to get bad out here. You know, this man, he's getting ready to come down with extreme wrath. With extreme prejudice. You know? And we've been telling you that, you know, pestilence and famines and so forth. We said that will happen. You know, even though this is a man-made thing, it's still through Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So this is the book of Psalm 64 and 5. It says, they encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately, and they say, who should see them? And they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. And both the inward thoughts of every one of them and the heart is deep. The mind is deep. Okay? So this is when they use the think tanks. They use particular instances to bring about these particular prophecies and so forth. You know, these particular things that's happening on the earth. They use these particular embodiments of evil to control the people. All right. So this is the book of 2nd Ezra 15, and I'm going to start at verses 5. It says, behold, says the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Okay. So this is all judgment from the Heavenly Father at the end of the day. But nonetheless, you got this devil that's carrying out these acts of the Lord, man, which is prophecy. So really, we're not against it. But at the same time, it's still unrighteous because Esau is a demon. You know, but hey, we just report on these things. And I'm going to jump around a little bit. And it says, and woe to the world and them that dwell therein. All right. Verses 17, it says, a man should desire to go into a city and should not be able. For because of their pride, the city should be troubled and the house should be destroyed and men afraid. Right. Because people are going to take it to the streets. He already told you a national shutdown, which means that you're going to have checkpoints set up. You're going to have guards. You're going to have cops, police in different neighborhoods, mainly you Israelites. You know, those of you out there that live in the ghettos and the projects and the hood, you're going to have a more higher task force that's policing your neighborhoods because the key is to really detain you and get you up out of here. Okay, the key is to blame you and make you the face of this pandemic so they can be justified when experimenting on you. That's all it's about. Okay. But anyway, 2nd Ezra 16 and 8, it says here, the mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? All right, so these things are going to go forth regardless. All right, verse 14, it says, and I'm jumping around a little bit, but behold, the plagues are sent and should not return again until they come upon the earth. Okay, so these plagues are sent, and this is going into the nuclear missiles, but nonetheless, you got plagues, you got HIV, you got the C virus, you got, what about the black plague that everybody is on a hush-hush about? We had a case of it in Colorado. Now it just disappeared. No, man, because they're getting ready to do something. And I believe this black plague is really going to be the real deal that's going to be responsible for a lot of people getting destroyed out here. But they're not saying anything about that. You notice that hush-hush. They're focusing on this C shit. You know? But anyway, verse 17, woe is me who would deliver me in those days. It says the beginning of sorrows and great mournings and the beginning of famine. And we just went into the whole thing of the truck strike. And great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, and the beginning of evils. But what should I do when these evils come? Okay, so hey, that's the question that we're asking. Damn, Lord, what I'm going to do? Are you going to protect us? Are you going to protect me? Are you going to protect the family? Are you going to protect the brothers? Are you going to put me in a place of hiding? Am I going to eat? These are the questions that goes through the man. Don't think that we don't think these things, but overall, our faith overcomes our fear. Because when you ask those questions, that's us in the flesh. Like, damn, if they gonna lock everything down, I'm in the midst of it. How the fuck am I gonna eat? You ask yourself that, but then again, some said, think about it. It's called faith. Things happen, bro. Just gotta believe. That's all. These people, they ain't got no belief. That's why they gonna succumb to the madness out here. But anyway, it says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So you people deserve the lockdown. You deserve to be in these hospitals. You really deserve it. Really, it's not a bad thing that what they're doing. You really deserve it. Okay, when they sticking you and got you in these prisons and experiment, you deserve it. It just said it here. It says are sent as scourges for amendment. Amendment on what? Because you people are going off. It says, but for all these things, they should not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Okay. So basically, man, these people, no matter how much the Lord jacking them up, they're going to still continue to be wicked. They're not going to think, oh, because I'm an evil, conniving, backstabbing demon, They're not going to think of that. They're going to be like, well, woe is me. Why this is happening to me and my family? What do you mean? You're an adulterer, you're a murderer, all right? You're an idolater. You're all these things. What do you mean why is this happening to you? Because you're wicked, And it says here, but behold, victuals should be so good, cheap upon earth, that you should think themselves to be in good case. Like if you go to Independence, Missouri, just last week, gas was $1.49 in Independence, Missouri. Come to Raytown, gas was $1.79. Some places $1.80, some places $1.60. That's a good case because you ain't seen gas prices that low in a while. But they jump up per county. But it says here, to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion, right? Because people are going to be looking like, wait a minute, things are cheap, things appear to be normal, but why they're coming down? The military's in the streets, we don't know whether to believe Biden or Trump, we don't know whether to believe Kamala, we got these guys on the streets with these robes on saying this is going to happen. What do we do? Great confusion. People are going to be pretty much scattered and dispersed among one another. It's going to be a lot of tension out here. It says in great confusion. And many of them that dwell on the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there should be no man to comfort them. For the earth should be wasted, and the cities there should be cast down, and this is what this is leading to. You look at those particular bullet points he laid out in that article, that's exactly what this will lead to. It says here, and there should be no men left to till the earth and to sow it. So there ain't gonna be no jobs here. Reading this is a complete shutdown of society. Nobody's gonna be working. It says nobody to till the earth. No farmers gonna be out there. Nobody to sow it. No farmers, no farming work, no streets and sanitation, no highway workers plowing no damn snow. None of that stuff. No highway workers to deal with the signals and lightnings. Nobody to patch your potholes, to weed eat your guardrails. Nobody to the streets and sanitate, to sweep your streets, clean your bridges. That shit gonna be shut the hell down in due time, man. So this is a beautiful thing, beautiful time we living in. Alright? And it says here, so that one man should desire to see another and to hear his voice. It's like I Am Legend. When Will Smith was calling, this is the I Am Legend scripture. Will Smith was calling out to survivors in the city of New York. He couldn't get anybody. And when he finally got somebody, he damn near freaked out. And that's what this is going into. You're going to be happy to see, oh, man, bro. Man, just imagine one of us, we're alone out in the city, and all of a sudden we run into one of our brothers. Like, oh, that's going to be a sight. That's going to be a beautiful thing. Oh, man, because everybody's going to be dead. And I'm getting emotional thinking about it. That's like me, we in the city of Kansas City, and all of a sudden, you got animals and stuff. The cities are completely taken over. Vines everywhere. Fucking bridges collapsing. Checkpoints set up. Dead bodies. And, me and then the brother Amawan under me, what I'm saying? He on one side of the city. I don't know what the hell happened to Amawan. As far as he know, the Lord, I don't know, he's in a FEMA camp. He could think I'm dead. And all of a sudden, I'm walking through the bushes and shit, getting ready to look for some food. And all of a sudden, I see the brother. And then I run up to him. I say, oh, shit, shalom, bro. Make sure he's still in the truth. He's still in the spirit. That's going to be a beautiful thing. Like, man, bro, I'm like, this shit is crazy. Like, we were just talking about this happening. Now look at it. And that's how it's going to be, man, So I can't wait. This is a beautiful thing, man, But anyway, so that one man should desire to see another, to hear his voice, for of a city there should be left 10, and 2 of a field, and shall hide themselves in a thick groves and the clefts of the rocks. So, shit, bro, it's gonna be I Am Legend out here. Alright, and you can thank your devils who you put in office. They can be likely be the ones that bring this type of anarchy. Purge, martial law, all that stuff. Play the game The Last of Us. You'll see what I'm talking about. But anyway, with that, all praises and glory and honor is due to Yahweh Shem Shai. Double honors to the elders, the apostles of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. With that, Shalom and a Baba Ball.